Okay, good morning, Thursday, May 25th. Coming in hot on this gorgeous Thursday, talking about a glitch in VinFast launch, a GM CFO buying stock, and, humans over AI.
Humans over AI. That's a great t-shirt right there. Just humans
over
AI.
AI. Yes. That's
We're
actually
believers.
Matt Lasher has 33 of them already. He already has the shirt.
We're believers in that, but we also
Minted.
use AI quite a bit lately around
Yes.
the Asoduverse.
Hey, but we got humans using AI. We actually are making humans quicker over here in the Asoduverse.
Oh,
So,
yeah, we are. I never
we
told
go.
you this, but last week when I was at VCon, I was with Dave Meltzer and we were at this mastermind things, and somebody asked a question about AI, and he said, my perspective on AI has changed. I had previously been kind of like really hesitant toward it, and then I realized this could be the most powerful servant I've ever had. And I was like, oh, that's a great way to contextualize it.
He just reframes everything. He's like, look at the positive. Look at the way that it serves, that it helps, that it cares for people. Pretty cool. Yeah. Actually, Ben Hadley this morning on LinkedIn. If you haven't, go to Ben Hadley's profile on LinkedIn. He just dropped a little hey, you're wanting a bunch of things in your calendar. It's only on a website, only in a PDF. Here's 4 simple steps to use AI to put it in the right framework so that, boom, you can add a whole bunch of stuff to your calendar. Use Arnold Sherna's Storyteller website to kind of be the guide for that. So, it's like little helpful things to make sure you're aware and can move quicker. So,
I love that. Hey, yesterday we had an amazingly special afternoon. We live premiered our first episode of More Than Cars, the pilot episode, More Than Cars, which is a network style TV show, basically, that tells inspiring stories from dealers across the country. And we've been making this. You and I were both insanely nervous. Like we had the butterflies in our stomach.
Wild.
It's been a long time since I felt that way, but we released the episode. There were lots of people on the live stream, over 500 comments, and we just have been getting a barrage of text messages and DMs of people saying they loved it. They want to support it, which is cool because it's going to be a crowdfunded project.
Yeah. So we said, hey, look, there's so many people that said, how can I be a part of this? This needs to be seen. And we just wanted to make it really accessible to be a part of the project, because not everybody can get their store shot. Not everybody can, come alongside or be a part of the Asoda team. But for 50, 500, 1,000, 15,000, no matter where your capacity is and how you want to see this show move forward, you can be a part of making sure that we get to shoot the full season 1. I know it sounds like a big number, but it's really not. It's $500,000 to shoot all the episodes for season 1 at the quality and the level that we do. But it's not huge. Like, you think about how broad and how big the industry is, and how car dealers have done over the last couple of years. Like, how do we get behind this to rebrand and do the PR effort necessary to make auto what it needs to be in our culture?
I know it's a scary moment. I mean, we've thought hey, there are 500 people in this industry that have $1,000 to make sure that the world sees this, because we do have lines of communication and distribution, like paths to Amazon Prime, Apple TV, probably Netflix too. We're trying to get the season shot so then we can show the rest of the world what the auto industry is really about, not the stigma that people know. And it's kind of a moment of truth for us. Like, how much do we believe that this is the case? So we did our best to invest in a pilot episode and another one as well, so that we could get the ball rolling and put our money where our mouth is and put our time where our heart is. And we hope that you join us. You can go to morethancars.tv, check out the pilot episode. You can actually see the LinkedIn live stream that we did, because Kyle and I were on before and after. It was pretty cool. And also you can get right to the crowdfunding campaign, where you can see all the cool perks that you get when you get behind and back the project. So we'll leave that there, and hope you join it. Hope you check it out.
Speaking of projects,
let's go.
Segue.
Vietnamese EV maker VinFast is definitely in the midst of a project, bringing their 999 vehicles, their VF8, into the U.S. They have recalled literally the entire first batch due to a safety risk. Decision follows a U.S. National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Say that 8 times fast.
It's an acronym, but we have to say it because
Yep.
it's NHTSA or something like that.
Yes, exactly. They're warning about a software issue in the dashboard. Basically, what happens is it causes the display to go blank while in motion, which is a big deal because there's a lot of things
all
going
the
on in that
information.
display.
I think in the car, like all the information is on that display, like your speed, your directions. I know what happens when one of my kids' screens go blank around the house. There is mass uproar. But yeah, for real. So like when the screen goes dark, you that happened once in one of my cars where I was like backing up and the screen went out. I was like,
that's so weird.
Good thing I drove before we had screens.
Right. It's done it one time in my vehicle too. And it's like, even though it wasn't the like main like odometer and speedometer, it was the main screen. It was still just this like disorienting thing, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah, it's just kind of disorienting. So here's the interesting thing. Unlike the Takata airbag recalls of the early 2010s.
Oh boy, they're still going on.
Yeah, right. They're still going on. I know I saw a whole nother set of recalls, but unlike that recall, guess what's going to happen, Paul? They're just going to push a little quick update today. Just whoop. There you go. 700 cars out on the road, done, fixed, ready to go.
Actually, so if you remember, we talked about this a lot when it happened. They had this big, awesome looking, sea vessel that carried these odd VinFast on the side, delivered these 999 vehicles to the port. Actually, they've only delivered 299 of them so far. They still have 700. Right, yeah.
They have 700.
So they still actually have 700 like in hand.
Sitting there. Yeah,
and the company's not aware of any incidents, right? Like this didn't come up because like there was an accident. They just became aware of it. So VinFast having a rough go at their first swing. Lots of hype in the beginning, but we'll see. You know what I mean? You got to take a couple hits and get it done. Fortunately, this is like software update.
Yeah, it's like boop boop done, good to go.
I think $2 billion behind them. They're good.
Yeah, and here's the thing. It's just one of those things where it's like, hey, look, if we can solve problems easily and we can prove that it's quick and easy to do up front, we're going to get lifetime loyalty out of our consumers. And if the majority of the problems are on the software side, like software can be fixed, hardware is a lot harder to get fixed. Yeah. So.
All right. Speaking of,
a
lot of money. Speaking of a lot of money, in a move deemed unusual by analysts, General Motors CFO Paul Jacobson has invested $1 million of his own money, personal funds, to buy 31,000 shares of GM stock. This move seems to be an indication that his confidence in GM's transition plan to EVs is strong amidst which is really strange, GM's market cap being lower than Ford's right now. Right. David Whitson, analyst for Morningstar, said, "I'm sure he finds the stock quite undervalued and believes GM's their EV transformation." Jim Kane, GM spokesperson, said to Detroit Free Press, "Paul's stock purchase reflects his confidence in our ability to deliver both today and into the future as we grow our EV portfolio and scale Cruise and other growth opportunities. As a reference point, CEO Mary Barra has only purchased $26,000 of stock over the last 9 years in the company. It's a pretty rare thing, actually, for a high-level exec to make a public stock purchase.
Well, it is rare because a lot of their bonus structure is tied to stock options, right? Yeah, so it's interesting to see that, and I actually love it. It's like a personal brand play a brand play for the brand to be like, yeah, our CFO's looking at the balance sheet, looking at the trajectory, the projections, looking at everything that's happening, and going, oh man, there's something here. There's a wild opportunity there. I'm going to lean more in and not just rely on my options based on bonus packages, but I'm going to buy stock with my own money because I see the value of the forward motion of this company. I wonder what the stock is going to do after that, because that's a bold look, bold look.
It'll be interesting to see. I was thinking the same thing, but without a doubt, like if you buy stock, and you're in the markets, how can this not make you like take a look at least? Because it wasn't like it was like $100,000. It's like $1 million in stock, about 31,000 shares. So we'll see. But I like how you just brought up that it's a personal brand play too. Absolutely. Paul Jacobson is like, you're about to see my name everywhere.
That's exactly what's going to happen. That dude's SEO value is strong. Well, speaking of strong plays,
segue.
Kyle's like, that's it. On the show's over. Paul. Show's over on the ones and twos today.
Staples has introduced a brand new campaign called Business is human.
That's
To
our
showcase
topic right
the
there.
irreplaceable value of humans' interactions in the age of a growing AI reliance. The campaign highlights the unique roles and expertise of the Staples staff, asserting that customer service is more than just an algorithm exchange.
Love that.
You may say that it's more than Staples, Paul. The initiative aims to remind customers that despite the digital evolution, Staples values personal connections, expert advice, and the human touch that builds customer trust and loyalty. I'll tell you what, these people pulling on my heartstrings over here,
That
just
one
coming
got
for me.
That one got me. Like, the cool thing about the campaign is they feature their people in like kind of like real world scenarios. You know, one person, a little vignette. They called it their personal workday kickstart, expressing their preference for a good cappuccino, and saying life is too short for bad coffee. That made me think of you. And the beginning of the More Than Cars show.
That's
like
perfect.
Life's too short for bad coffee.
Gotta have good coffee.
No, but this is, I mean, like, look, I don't know if you've ever been in a Staples. There was a time in my life when I had to go all the time because, you know, like many years
Office
ago, that was
supplies.
where you got stuff done.
Right.
I owned a stapler back in the day. And if you've ever gone in there, it's just like any retailer, right? I probably very much depends on where you're at. But when a brand does this, I think they have an opportunity to set the tone in their culture. I mean, obviously playing off AI is going to be a very strong play right now. People are talking about it. And so it'll get, you know, they're doing the right thing from a marketing standpoint. But realistically, if they don't push this down into their culture on a store level, on a frontline level, it's just going to be a marketing campaign, and it's going to come and it's going to go. But they have a real opportunity to celebrate the people and practice what they preach. I've been in some Staples that were good and some Staples that were not so good.
This is the trick, because it's like when marketing isn't tied to operations, you have the risk of marketing telling a story that's better than the operations. Now, here's the real like straight line. Yesterday, releasing More Than Cars and talking about what the industry is and what we believe that it is and how it should be in culture. Like, we recognize that we have to tie that marketing message as an industry to the operations of the broad industry, because the minute someone steps out of the guidelines of care and community and culture and people, what happens is that front face, anything that happens from a PR perspective of an industry, of a brand, of a business, if it's not tied to the operational efficiency and the culture of that brand directly, you start to miss the whole thing. That's why, like, the Chick-fil-A campaign, the Red Couch campaign, is so clear and so aligned, because when you go into the store, you meet those people and you realize that it's not just a ploy, it's not just a play, it's not just a brand campaign, it's an actual like operations campaign.
So, that's right. That's right. That's the biggest risk. I mean, it's a huge risk.
Always.
Well, but you got to take the risk until you show people there's a better way and are willing to say, like, no, it can be and should be this good. Then what are you even doing? You can hit the trigger music. Hey, if you are an industry partner and you want to get behind More Than Cars in a meaningful way, and none of the crowdfunding things work, send us an email, crew@asodu.com. If you're a dealer that needs to get this done at your show, email us as well, crew@asodu.com.